with the mighty Dodgers as he swings and hits a high deep drive to left. That's way back. It's hooking and it goes foul. Off the bat, it looked like maybe Seiya was going to hit one out of here, or maybe an extra base hit. He was injured in the World Baseball Classic playing for his home country of Japan. And Cubs weren't sure exactly what was going to happen if his what turned out to be a mild PCL strain in his knee was going to affect him for an extended period of time or a short amount of time. So they're glad to have him close to being back. We expect him between 3 to 5 or maybe 6 or 7 games all told as the fastball misses high. And he'll go back and forth between right field and designated hitter, and that's what he does in the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Guy hit 32 home runs, had 103 RBIs last year. He's in the contract season with the Cubs. Here's the pitch. It's downstairs. Not a bad ringer for opening day.
We got 2 Japanese-born players out here today. Riku Nishida, Seiya Suzuki.
Yeah, and our very own Tommy. Here's a ground ball, base hit left field. Perez made a dive for it, but it got by him in the blink of an eye, and Suzuki singles, back-to-back hits, and the Smokies got a couple of men on here in the first inning with no outs, and here's Jefferson Rojas. He is by far the most prominent prospect that the Smokies have on this team. Ranked as high as number 4 in the Chicago Cubs organization from the right side. He had a very good spring. Struggled last year after being called up to this league, and he takes outside ball 1. So we're kind of hoping. He's such a young kid.
Yeah, he was only 19 last year, second youngest batting qualifier in high A, and until he got bumped up here to double A.
He, at 20 years old, looking to make an impact. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. 1-1. And, you know, sometimes last year you forget how young he was, and they try to do that. They want to push a guy up to keep on challenging them ahead of their age. So that eventually you get him to the big leagues. Here's the pitch home. Swinging a high, deep drive to left field. Zavala back to the track, at the wall. There she goes! Jefferson Rojas, a first-inning 3-run homer. And the Smokies strike here to start the 2026 season. Into the bullpen. This is a different Rojas. Boy, that sounded loud.
How about that for a start? Single, and then he left it up in the zone, and Rojas took advantage, turned on a changeup, and that ball just drifted out of here. Connor and Matt talked about it. Last year, this was not a friendly ballpark for hitters. Second least amount of home runs hit at Covenant Health Park, but a great start here in the first inning.
So that'll bring up Edgar Alvarez, and the left-hander takes a strike called, lefty to lefty. Gordon hit by that line drive, stayed in the game. Third base side of the rubber. At 90 miles an hour, misses inside with a fastball. Great crowd here tonight. I see some folks over at the Yardley Flats, the apartment complex, just over the left field wall, hanging out on the porch, grilling, watching the game as the pitch is a called strike. They're in the pool area watching.
Yeah, it's packed up there in Yardley.
It's like the rooftops at Wrigley. Your rent equals a ticket. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Great to see Lance Reimel back as the Smokies manager, former player. He was on the same teams as Chris Bryant and Javi Baez back as a player. 2013, one of those seasons. And he's done a fantastic job as the manager. He's done a great job on the field. He's done an incredible job off the field. Brings a real positive vibe to the clubhouse. Here's the pitch. And that's high for a ball, but it's also very competitive. And the Smokies, I thought he did a fantastic job last year. The Smokies ended up just around 500. And it wasn't a roster chocked full of prospects as the pitch is inside for a ball. The Barons have won back-to-back championships, and they've done that with a lot of prospects.
Right.
Smokies hung in there. Lost to these guys 2 years ago, and the White Sox at the big league level have been so bad as Alvarez takes inside, and that's ball 4. But he walks.
Yeah, they've been really bad the last couple of years, but with their prospects they have, especially with their starting pitching that we've seen in Double-A, I think they have potential to be a pretty good ball club in 2 to 3 years.
Now, former Baron Chris Getz is the guy in charge of the White Sox organization as a quick visit to the mound for the Barons. Will slow the action down. Don Kovalik will talk with Gordon. And anyway, our friend Jesse Rogers, who, by the way, if you guys are interested, is a weekly guest on YouTube's most popular Cubs baseball channel, known as the Cubs Baseball Channel.
I've heard of it.
With Jody Davis, Tony Andracki, and
who's the host?
Mick Gillespie. And it is a plug, but first pitch is a swing and a miss. Jordan Wogu, 3-0 Knoxville.
Saw the Cubs baseball channel. The only one to have any highlights is Suzuki.
It's popped up, foul ground. Delaney over, and he makes the catch. And Wogu is the first out for the Smokies. Fouls out, and there's one down. Well, anyway, Getz, who is in charge of the system, the White Sox this season have had just an awful pitching staff. They've given up 52 runs in 6 games. That's 47 earned runs. And they got an 8.63 ERA. So a lot of White Sox fans are like, hey, when are we going to have Hagen Smith? When are we going to have Noah Schultz? When are we going to have Tanner McDougal? And he's like, look, just slow down. First pitch, Ariel Armas is a called strike. One of the 4 Smokies prospects, along with Rojas, who just belted a 3-run homer. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. He's basically telling people like Jesse Rogers, who put a story on this today, that they're not ready yet. So they're in AAA Charlotte. They helped the Barons win a championship. We faced those guys. Here's the pitch home. It's upstairs for a ball. Very good pitchers. They got some good talent.
Yep. The White Sox gave away one of their best pitchers in Garrett Crochet. Imagine what that rotation could have been with those prospects and him.
Oh, yeah. Infield a double play depth. Now the pitch home. That bounces to the plate, blocked by Harris. And it's 2-2. I love being back in this seat. And then you hear the buzz of a big crowd. This place just has a major league vibe. It's the way that the sound echoes through the concourse. Now the 2-2. And that's outside for ball 3. Shout out to the Knoxville Symphony Orchestra. You talk about sound echoing through the concourse. The Symphony had an event here, Stars and Strikes. And they played on a Saturday a couple weeks ago. There's strike 3 on the outside corner. He didn't think so. There's no replay in this league. You don't get to touch your helmet. Armas is out, 2 down, and here's Devin Ortiz. Here's another look at it if you're watching on TV. That was a pretty good pitch.
That was exactly where you want it.
Kind of started outside and then ended up down and in right across the plate. So 2 down, 3-0 Knoxville. And here's Ortiz, lefty against righty. Pitch to the plate. Swings and loses the bat and misses strike 1. The bat all the way out to Lance Reimold. Knoxville Symphony Orchestra invited me to voice Casey at the Bat, which is a poem that's, they say it's the most popular poem in American history.
Really?
Yeah. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The scores stood 4-2 with but one more inning to play. And when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a sickly silence fell across the patrons of the game. Should I keep going? Or you like that? No, I'm not going to keep going. Come on. First pitch in there, strike. I think, but when I did my part, the orchestra was playing behind me, and this place just has great sound. It goes back to the crowd and
talk about your stand for a little bit.
That's going to bounce to the plate. It's 1-2. Well, the way I put it is that I lost my place, and things got awkward. But we recovered.
It's not always about how you start.
No. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here it comes. That's fouled away.
You had a great finish to the KC at the bat.
I know. Thank you. Very nerve-wracking. Gordon over 30 pitches now, 17 for strikes. He gave up the 3-run homer. The first 3 batters scored. Ramirez, the rehabbing Suzuki, and then Rojas blasted a home run. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. And now the pitch. Swings and fouls it away. You wonder how many pitches they're going to let him go.
I was going to say that. A lot of long at-bats here. He's at 32 pitches in the opening inning on opening day. You know, they're very strict about their pitch counts in the minor leagues. And, you know, sometimes in the last, 3 years we've been doing this, they've pulled pitchers in the first inning because they go over 25 pitches. Now, they've been a lot better about that recently.
Mm-hmm. Barons have somebody up in the bullpen. I don't think he's going to get another batter. That's outside again. I think you get over 30 and it's, like that's it. I mean, I think that sometimes it's even like that in the major leagues. So here's a really big 2-2 pitch. Out on the way home. There's a little bouncer right back to Gordon. Picks it up, turns, and throws him out. And Ortiz is retired, and so are the Knoxville Smokies, but they send 7 to the plate. They score 3. We've played 1 full inning complete here at Coveted Health Park. Knoxville 3.
And a 3-run home run by Jefferson Rojas. And as we head to the second inning, the Smokies lead 3-0.
All right, here we go. Mills delivers, and the first pitch is inside for a ball. Brian Delaney leads off. Right-handed batter. Sun is now just barely touching the field and left. And it will not be a factor the rest of the night. Now, those watching at Yardley Flats are still staring right into the setting sun, but what a gorgeous night here. 2 balls and no strikes, Mills home. And there's a fastball on the outside corner. So the Rule 5 draft, which means he was a member of the St. Louis Cardinals organization, and they went and got him. Here's a line drive, base hit, down into the left field corner. Delaney turns first on the way to second, and he's there with a double. The runner at second base with no outs. The Barons looking for an answer, and Mills would love a shutdown inning after that long top of the first. I know that my good buddy and now Cubs Hall of Famer Jody Davis, who does the Beer Money podcast on the Cubs baseball channel, he was also a Rule 5 pickup by the Cubs from the St. Louis Cardinals and ended up being one of the all-time greats. I mean, he got into the Cubs Hall of Fame this year along with John Lester. Here's the pitch home. And Gerald Perez takes a strike, off-speed pitch on the inside corner.
Yeah, the Rule 5 is great for free agency marketplace, almost like NIL and transfer portal now in college athletics. You use that Rule 5 draft to just kind of take somebody away.
Fastball strike. Well, you got to protect guys. You only have 40 spots on your roster that are protected, right? And it's called a 40-man roster. And then the big league roster is 26 of those guys. But you can take any of the 40 and put them in the big leagues. I mean, there's rules to that. Now the 0-2. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Struck him out. First strikeout of the year for Mills. And here's Samuel Zavala, a right fielder. Runner at second base. 3-zip Knoxville. Long pause in the pitch. There's a ground ball. Base hit center field. Delaney turns and scores. It's an RBI single for Zavala, and it's a 3-1 game. The Barons did a lot of this last year. They can hit and immediately answer the Smokies, who scored 3 in the bottom of the first.
And that's what they needed to slow down this momentum. Double by Delaney, and Zavala, with the runner in scoring position, stays on top of that breaking ball that was down in the zone and punches it back up the gut for a base hit.
So now Wilfred Veras, runner at first, 1 out, and Veras takes a strike. We've seen a lot of Veras over the years.
Yeah, this is kind of his make or break year in Double-A.
Now the pitch fouled away. When they talk about Mills, they like his pitch ability and his elite command and heavy sinking fastball. He has that as opposed to, a lot of velocities. We've seen it. That 95 comes at you. Now the 0-2. Low and away. Last year was in between Springfield and Memphis and had a 4.75 ERA in 55 innings. He was in a relief role last year. Now he's a starter, an opening day starter. Now the 1-2. Fouled away. Cubs opened their road slate this afternoon in Cleveland. They took on the Guardians back where they won their World Series 10 years ago. It's hard to believe it's been 10 years since the 2016 championship. And the ace of the Smokies 2023 championship, and the guy that came in second last year in Rookie of the Year voting, and got votes for Cy Young, if I remember correctly. Cade Horton was on the mound, and Horton left in either the first or second inning with a forearm issue. Not good. 1-2. Fastball taken.
And never a good sign when your starting pitcher points to the dugout and pulls himself out of the game.
I mean, he was gone fast. 17 pitches before leaving the game. They're calling it forearm discomfort. 2-2. Outside a ball. So the Cubs had depth in the starting pitching department. One of the guy that actually came in to relieve him was Colin Ray, who was in the rotation last year early because of an injury, and right back he is. And he did a good job. Cubs ended up losing the game 4-1. Now the 3-2 pitch. Swing, a mile-high pop-up, foul ground, third base way. Ortiz way over by the tarp, and that's going to be out of play. We'll do it again at 3-2. Runner was moving to try to avoid the double play. But man, Javier Assad didn't make the team out of spring training, and he would have been on a lot of rosters. But the Cubs had some, ton of depth. And right back to the big leagues he'll go. Because I'm guessing that Horton's going to be on the IL, and there's no telling for how long. Here's the pitch. Low, and that's ball 4. The Barons with runners at first and second. Calvin Harris coming up. He's the 8th man in the lineup. 3-1 Knoxville, but Birmingham sends the go-ahead man to the plate.
Yeah, very unusual for Smoky starter and Zane Mills. 2 walks already in the first 2 innings. Only had 39 career walks coming into tonight.
Here's the pitch to the plate. And that's inside ball 1. Cubs also have former Smoky, and you talk about a Cy Young contender, Justin Steele, slated to return sometime in May or maybe at the latest June. He's coming back from arm surgery. Catcher will run out to the mound and try to get on the same page after a walk. But not the guy you want to lose.
Absolutely not. I mean, they were leaning on Cade Horton this year as one of their go-to starters.
Two balls and no strikes. Now the pitch. Foul away. Smokies wearing the home whites. Barron's wearing the black uniforms. Tell you what, there's a lot of good stadiums in this league now. Birmingham has a relatively new stadium. I think it's about maybe 11 years old. And then Chattanooga's opening up their new stadium later this month. Erlanger Park. There's a strike. Breaking ball in there, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, very similar situation to what the league did with the Smokies last year. They gave Knoxville 9 extra days to prepare for opening day. And now Chattanooga will play their first 9 on the road and then open up in 2 weeks.
There's a swing and a foul ball. And Jefferson Rojas, the shortstop, launched a home run in the first, and Barron's with a couple of men on here in the second. People still getting here for tonight's game. We thought for a while it was going to be rain. You know, last week the outlook was rain. Here's a bouncing ball, third base way foul. Hey, we're going to be all right. What can you tell me about the promotion schedule? Any good news for people?
We got a Big League Chew night. I think that's one of my highlights this year.
Were you a Big League Chew kid?
I love Big League Chew.
Was that when you were playing like Little League, or was that when you were on the wiffle ball team called the Comets?
Both. Never gets old.
2-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Got him with a, looked like maybe a sinker. So that's the second out.
That's exactly what it was.
Wow. 90 miles an hour, and the bottom fell out of it. So here's former Smoky Andy Weber. He was the starting shortstop on that team with Cade Horton that won the Southern League Championship in 2023. He was a Rule 5 pick, went to the Diamondbacks, and now he's with the Barons. Here's the pitch. Down and in for a ball. An old friend. Good to see an old friend in Andy Weber.
You got to get your pennant signed.
I know. I've got the only one I need is him and Owen Casey. The championship pennants, they gave them away opening day in 2024. They had a circle with the faces of the starting lineup in it as Weber takes a strike. And I got to tell you, Andy Weber, I've seen him play some really good baseball. He was so locked in for that playoffs. His defense was just brilliant. 1 ball, 1 strike to the lefty. Now the pitch. And it's down and in. So an old friend, and then Owen Casey got traded in the offseason to the Miami Marlins and hit a walk-off home run in the major leagues already, and was, the last time I looked, 8 runs batted in, was second most in the league. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Weber pops him up, third base way. Ortiz under it, foul ground, reaches up, splash. Into the brown leather, he makes the catch, and the side's retired. The Barons do get a run. They answer the Smokies. We head to the bottom of the second inning, and it's now the Smokies 3 and Birmingham 1.
Pilot is proud to present your Knoxville Smokies. Is your road trip headed into extra innings? Traffic got you in a pickle? When the road throws you a curveball,
And Seiya Suzuki in the lineup, already 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. Bottom of the second, 3-1 Smokies lead. And batting for the Smokies, the leadoff center fielder, Carter Trice.
All right, that'll be 8, 9, and 1 in this Knoxville lineup. Trice, the center fielder. Is off the wall. Trice, the second base, and he's there standing with a double. And he smacked that ball into the gap, right on top of it, a little bit up in the zone, and he just went and barreled it up.
Yeah, Gordon doesn't have his breaking stuff today. Smokies are doing a very good job of being selective at the plate, laying off of his breaking stuff out of the zone, and then when he hangs it, they've hit it well.
There's Carson. First pitch in there, a strike. Carson Seamus. Runner at second base. Smokies up by 2. It's 3-1. Lefty against righty. And that pitch is high. I was thinking about you, Rich, when I heard about Carter Jansen, the catcher for the Kansas City Royals. You hear about him as the pitch is taken high and inside?
Now let's hear it.
Rookie catcher, and he slept through his alarm, and he was a little late to the ballpark.
Oh, boy.
And Jensen got into a lot of trouble. Here's the 2-1. And that's outside for a ball. Now he's back behind the plate with a guy, Salvador Perez, who could eventually be a Hall of Famer, a World Series champ, one of the great all-star catchers. But it was going to be Perez to DH, and then Jansen was going to be the catcher. And he slept right through his alarm. He told the Kansas City Star, "Don't really have an excuse, nor should I. It sucks. It happens. I feel like I let my teammates down, coaches down. Just learn from it and know it won't happen again." Here's the pitch. Ball popped up. Foul ground, first base way. Delaney under it. Gold chain glistening in the Knoxville night, and he makes the catch.
See, that's typically why I set about 15 alarms in the morning.
Have you slept through your alarm ever? This guy's 22 years old and he's a rookie.
I have slept through my alarm before, that's for sure.
It's embarrassing.
It is awful. It's the worst feeling in the world.
Our worst ever employee, a guy named, well, I'm not going to say his name, he slept through in a 7 o'clock game one time.
I remember you saying that.
It was Ben Slotnick. Here's the pitch.
He's in a different country. You're good.
He moved to Israel. Alexander Ramirez, 1 for 1, lined a ball off the hip of the catcher. Hey, we love Benny, but he slept through a 7 o'clock game. Here's the 0-1. Here's a fly ball in the air to deep center field. Montgomery tracking back, and it's going to be down for extra bases. One hop off the wall. Trice scores, and Ramirez at second base. He's 2 for 2, and the Smokies take a 4-1 lead. Nicely done. Reached out, and the pitch was away, and he just golfed it right into the gap.
Absolutely. That was not an easy pitch to hit off the plate. He extended those long arms out there to barrel it up, and third extra base hit for the Smokies already in 2 innings, and they're going gap to gap here against the starter, Lucas Gordon.
Great round of applause for the Cubs rehabber and Seiya Suzuki. 1 for 1 with a single to left. Smokies back to a 3-run lead. First pitch outside for a ball. Vinny Pasquantino basically said there are some things that cannot happen, and that's one of them. Basically a veteran guy talking to reporters. They were just glad he was okay. Like it wasn't a car wreck. You know, like your parents. Here's the pitch. Seiya takes an inside strike. Kind of snuck one right across the letters. 1 ball, 1 strike to Suzuki. And then he was like, so he's going to have to wear it on the chin. It can never happen again. There goes the runner for third. Pitch taken. Throw to third. Head first slide. Safe! Perez took the throw from the catcher Harris and tried to apply the tag, but a head first dive by Ramirez, and now he's turned a double into a triple. Good throw, though, by Harris. Just a great jump. So now the infield in, 4-1 Knoxville. I slept through a game one time.
Really?
Not
2
the
o'clock
game.
first pitch?
Well, no. We used to play. This is when I was with the Lookouts. Swing and a fly ball to center field. This is going to get the run in. Montgomery under it. Makes the catch. Ramirez tags and scores. A Suzuki sacrifice fly makes it a 5-1 Knoxville lead. Smokies scored 3 in the first, and they played 2 here in the second. And Seiya Suzuki, just like he did last year for the Cubs, taking care of business. And yes, being in the state of Tennessee, we TCB it down here, like the king. Elvis Presley used to say. Jefferson Rojas hit a 3-run homer his first time up. Takes a strike. Well, so we had played a really late night game with rain and then bust all through the night. And when we got to the hotel, it was 7 o'clock. Here's a fly ball to center, and that's going to hang up there. Over and to his left is Caden Connor, and he makes the catch. And the side's retired. We'll talk about that another time. We can tell you this, reporting from Covenant Health Park, through 2 innings.
Knocked down by Seamus, and the ball's going to skip away from him. Montgomery will single. Back-to-back singles for the Barons. Runners at first and second with nobody out. Go ahead.
But, it's that qualifying test. We got to score 31 for the Air Force. Amongst, all the other branches, they have their qualifying test too. But for us, it's 31. Then you get into your physical, your medical side of it to see if, depth perception, color vision and such. They kind of go through that, and then if they make it through, qualifying for their ASVAB, their medical, then they'll get to swear in over at MEPS. And MEPS is downtown here, probably about 5 minutes away from the Covenant Health Park. So we get them sworn in, and then we try to get them a job and get them shipped out within, 90 to 120 days.
Here's Caden Connor, left-handed hitter. Runners at first and second as the Smokies lead 5-1 in the third. He swings and fouls it away. Let's talk about what you do on a daily basis with the United States Air Force.
So originally, I came in the Air Force looking for the college, because I couldn't pay for it myself. And I came in with my FSC being munition systems. So I pretty much build bombs. It's kind of like adult Legos, right? So it's not the chemical side, but more like, you got a bomb body and you add all the stuff to it to make one round.
Seems a little more complicated than Legos as the pitch is taken high.
Maybe a little bit, a little more dangerous, right? But we still got the safety side of the house where we're very safe, right? Now, I've done way more than just munitions. I've done a lot of leadership, a lot of management. I've seen where I've worked with commanders. But for me, the best thing I've done is in recruiting so far, because there's just nothing like giving back to the community, changing people's lives.
2-1 the count on the lefty Caden Connor with runners at first and second. Great to have Technical Sergeant David Greenway here from the United States Air Force as they did their swear-in before opening day. Here's the 2-1, and the pitch misses up and away for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. Let's talk about the opportunities that the Air Force has to offer. Okay,
man, there's tons. A lot of people come to us for the free education. We've got the medical side, want to be able to pay for their families, and have that medical that you pay for. Travel is huge too. We got over 70 locations throughout the world that the Air Force can go to, along with many Army posts that we can go to and such. It just really, there's something that fits everybody and can help out of any situation. For me, I came from a poor background, and man, it's been a blessing. I came in to do 6 years, and here I'm going 15 in August.
Wow. Good for you.
It's been a really good life for me and my family.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Caden Connor, the left fielder, grounded out into a double play his last time up. Smokies leading 5-1 here in the top of the third. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's taken up and away, ball 4, and the Smokies in a little bit of trouble here in the third. Bases loaded and nobody out.
A lot of bit of trouble.
So you talk about all the different stations across the United States for the Air Force. Name some of your favorite spots.
I have to say my number one is Okinawa, Japan, over at Kadena Air Base.
All right.
It's kind of like Hawaii, just a little cheaper. It's still tropical, beautiful waters. I've gotten to go to Hawaii. My Air Force career started out in San Antonio, Texas, so that's where we all go for Air Force basic training. Then I went over to Wichita Falls, Texas for my technical school. And then from there, I went to Whiteman Air Force Base, Missouri, where the B-2 bombers are there. So I got to support some stealth fighters.
Wow.
Or stealth bombers. Pretty cool. Then I got to go to Hill Air Force Base in Utah. So Utah's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'm still not happy. So I put in, I lived in Korea, South Korea, over at Osan for 2 years.
Man, you've been all over the world.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit. Had a good life, man. And, you know, I'm from Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay.
And the only way I can be in Knoxville is being a recruiter. So, like, God just kind of set me in this role.
I've been to Jackson, too.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. I'd want to be here myself.
Yeah.
We used to play a team called the Diamond Jacks.
Yeah. That's where I swore in at.
Pringles, where was it, Pringles Stadium?
Oh, yeah, Pringles Park.
Yeah, Pringles Park.
It's funny because while I was in the delayed entry program, we did this exact same thing at Pringles Park. I was on the field, so it's kind of like full circle for me.
Swing and a miss, 0-2 the count. Bases loaded for Ryan Galaney. Mick was also, you went to college in Hawaii, didn't you?
Yeah, went to UH for a semester. It was great. Surfed North Shore. Yeah, I thought I actually got 2 goals this year. One of them is to go back and surf again. I haven't done it in a long time, but Hawaii's great. Pearl Harbor's awesome.
Our Morristown.
There's strike 3 caught on the outside corner as Galaney is caught looking. 3rd K of the ball game for Mills. Keeps the bases loaded with 1 out.
So our Morristown recruiter, Staff Sergeant Maver, he actually just came from Hawaii for vacation, and he's the one that's actually going to be interviewing and running the whole partnership next year.
You guys want a Hawaiian word? See if you guess what it means. Maybe you know.
Aloha?
No. Kama'aina. You know what a kama'aina is? Any idea? Local.
Okay.
Huh.
That's fouled away, and the count's 0-1.
They used to have a local discount, a kama'aina, so I would learn how to. When I was there, I was.
You never got the
scraping
discount.
by. No, I did.
Did you?
Oh, I'd pretend like I was kama'aina. Hello.
But the only one I know is Ohana, which is, family. Everybody knows that one. So
I loved it. I still have friends out there. Great
awesome.
people. Was there not too long ago. I had some poi.
Okay.
They have rice at McDonald's instead of, you know what I'm talking about? You go to McDonald's and it's like rice instead of French fries.
It's funny that you bring up McDonald's because, we have like certain qualities of life in the U.S., but being able to go overseas, such as Korea or Hawaii, it's completely different.
So different.
It was different because here when we get our McDonald's burgers are in just a piece of paper. In Korea, it's wrapped around cardboard so that it can't be flattened.